Let's hear it for Brooks. Let's go, Brooks.
Okay, I'll press it for you. You ready?
Check turbo, check turbo. Even. Pizza Hut.
Done this before, haven't you? You're my quarterback, right? Yeah, how'd you learn all those words? Way to go, Brooks.
We got the pizza here. We got the shirts. Shout out to Pizza Hut.
We've gotten so close in some places in Indiana, they won't serve us pizza anymore. We've gotten so close in some places in Indiana, they won't serve us pizza anymore.
With the cocaine in Arkansas, those emails are bananas.
They're
not explained.
They're talking about young kids who are going to be coming to a party to have fun. They're talking
They'll
about
be in the
pizza
pool,
and
they
hot
will be
dogs.
there for sure. $65,000 worth of hot dogs flown from Chicago for a White House party.
The whole thing is like very weird.
Did you ever see the archived Instagram post from James Alefantis'
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. That is to say in the Paleo-Hebrew, Yahweh, which is the name of our Heavenly Father, meaning He is, and that is who the world ignorantly calls God. Bahashim, which means in the name, Yahweh Shai, which means He is our salvation. And that is who the world also ignorantly calls Jesus, who, by the way, is a so-called black man and only came for the Israelites. Now, what's coming to topic this afternoon is the fact that Babylon the Great is being exposed, okay? Babylon the Great is being exposed, all right? Now, you may ask, what is the first video in reference to those other clips, okay? Because they surreptitiously put things in front of you and you don't know what you're looking at. To the untrained eye, that first clip just looks as if a young girl with a Seattle jersey on is catching a ball from a robot or a mechanic machine with the Pizza Hut logo on it, and it's in the midst of Super Bowl weekend, all right? And you're just supposed to look at it as just something innocent? No, all right? They're putting it in your face, okay? What you do, I got to word my words correctly, they traffic individuals, okay, under the age of the number that you see on her jersey, all right? Which we know the number of the jersey of Seattle fans is what? 12, okay? They put these things in plain sight, and unless you know what you're looking for, you don't understand. You just see it as a layman, okay? But that set the tone for the other clips that was played following that, showing you that this, what they call Pizza Space Gate, you know, they're coming out with WikiLeaks memos and emails that they use code to speak to traffic these jerseys, okay, throughout other parts of the earth, okay, or should I say world, all right? It's a ring traffic of jerseys, okay, particularly under that age of the number that was on that jersey, all right? if you can catch up and keep along and you know, keep up and keep along with what I'm saying, all right? That first clip spoke volumes, okay? You have a young individual, you know, wearing a jersey with the number 1, 2 on it, okay? Catching a ball from a mechanic machine with a Pizza Hut logo on it, all in the midst of a Super Bowl weekend. These are the elites, the wicked elites of the society flexing, okay? And they got their henchmen, Gruden and the other guy, standing on either side of that individual, okay? What? Dictating, okay, where to go, where to stand, all right? Because these, as you've seen in that third clip, if I'm not mistaken, these items, whether they're pizza, walnuts, hot dogs, so on and so forth, are directed where to go, as we seen in the last clip with 65,000, you know, dogs being given over to the White House for an alleged party. And all of this is alleged, by the way, okay? This is all alleged, all right? Allegedly, okay? But these is how these devils move, all right? They move in secrecy, okay? And unless you know what you're looking for, you don't know what you're seeing, all right? To you, it's just an innocent interaction between a fan, which she probably don't even know anything about football, okay? And a quarterback guru such as Gruden, okay? So all of these things that we seeing, they're put into place to convey a message to other elites. Now, although these files are coming out, make no mistake about it, we got everything under control because why? We got our boy Dunny, for the time being, taking control taking control over everything. Okay? So this is exactly what's going on, and Babylon is being exposed, man. All right? These emails that DOJ, Department of Justice, was forced to release, albeit they only released half of them, is condemning, okay? It's condemning, and the people are seeing, all right? The people are seeing just what type of shit was going on in these parties with these, you know, elites of this society and so on and so forth. So this is Isaiah 47 and verse 1. It reads, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon." Now this is going into America. "Sit on the ground. There is no throne. Why? O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." See? So this place was once looked at, you know, by many as a God-fearing country, all right? But now that we getting close to the end, the Lord is revealing himself that he never was with this place, okay? Because why? We see in all its ways and actions that is contrary to what the word says, all right? Here it is. You got these rings that's trafficking jerseys, you know, all for the entertainment and the sick, you know, pervert, get my words correct, sick, pervert, you know, pleasures of these elites, okay? Because there's reasons why they look for these, you know, quote unquote pizza, hot dogs, you know, some say, and some wording, grape soda and everything else, all right? Because they take enjoyment in the fear of these individuals that's young and that don't have any guardians to look over them, all right? That's why they love missing jerseys that have to be given to what? Adoption agencies. This is one of their biggest contributors, all right? These adoption agencies, okay? They go in there, sweep up a whole rack full of jerseys, all right? Take them to that island, and they do whatever they do, all right? They do rituals, okay? Allegedly, this is all allegedly, okay? But we know through the word, the Bible is exposing all of this. It says, verse 2, "Take the millstones and grind meal uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. This place is being exposed, okay? It's being exposed. Now, some may just look at it as that's a conspiracy and sweep it up under the rug. But there's missing jerseys with the 12 on it and probably younger, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, that goes missing on the daily, okay? It says, verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing Babylon and all its wickedness being brought forth to the forefront, all right? And it's only going to get worse, okay? It's only going to get worse because why? We're at the end, but now we're seeing it, all right? Now we're seeing it, okay? There's proof, there's emails. Now, whether you want to say they're fabricated or whether or not the authenticity of it is true, that's besides the point. These emails are out, and we know one man couldn't do all of this by himself. So he had to have help, okay? So whether you believe it's this person or that person, it's besides the point. The point is that these acts were done, okay? And they've been sitting on this for the longest. To what? To conceal and hide the people behind this, okay? And it wouldn't surprise me if some of his biggest contributors have ties in this Super Bowl, okay? Because a lot of hidden messages and meanings are advertised during the Super Bowl, which is the reason why they pay millions of dollars for 30 seconds of commercials, okay? Because it's nothing to them, all right? They just print the money, okay? But to get the message out, to convey messages between networking, they use the biggest, venues, and Super Bowl Sunday is a big venue. You're going to see a lot of weird commercials tonight. And you're going to look at them and think they're funny, they're catchy, and so on and so forth. But behind all those commercials, there's meanings, okay? And this is how Esau, Edom operates, in the dark. It says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. Okay? The whole world is seeing this. Okay? And they're trying to do their best to cover up the names of the people that's alleged in these emails. All right? But just the mere fact that these heinous activities took place is enough in its own. All right? But to put a name to it, they're doing their best to keep it concealed. It says, I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. So when Yahushua comes back, he's going to tear this place to smithereens, okay? He ain't coming back in a mortal body. He's coming back in an angelic force. All right? He's going to do some cleaning in this place, all right? Babylon the Great is finished. America is through. All right, that's why it says in the first verse, come down and sit in the dust. She's going to be brought down to the ground. All right. Her lies has been exposed. Her leg has been uncovered. She has been made naked. All right. And it's only going to get worse moving forward. All right. Because now we know. All right. This place is nothing but a cesspool. Okay. Of all type of wickedness and abominations, man. And this is why this place must be taken down, okay? And the Lord is going to send his only begotten son, Yahushua, to do just that, all right? Because this place has been exposed, okay? Psalms, is it 64? This is Psalm 64, verse 5. It reads, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately. They say, who shall see them? See? They don't fear the fact that these emails is leaked. All right? Because why? They have immunity. Okay? They move with a separate law of the land than the regular people. See, a regular person, he'll get locked up and thrown away. But see, these individuals, because of their status and who they are, they don't get locked up, all right? Which is why they got to be brought down to the ground, to the dust. And the only one that's going to do that is Yahushua. See, Yahushua is going to preserve these elites, okay? So what? They're going to be the ones that go into slavery, all right? See, they're not as other men. They don't get the judgment as other men because why? They write and create these wicked laws through lobbyists, okay? So they got a special judgment for them, all right? Their judgment is that they're going to be the first batch of slaves when we get the kingdom, okay? So it says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? See? Who shall see them? Who's going to stop us? All right? We write the laws. We set the traps. All right? That's for you mere mortals that have to abide by them. And if you break the laws, you go to jail. But we can break them because we wrote them. All right? See, but they didn't write this Bible. Okay? And that's one thing they didn't count on. All right? Or maybe they did, but they just were so proud that they didn't think it would ever come to pass. Well, now we're seeing this coming to pass. All right? Now, their judgment goes into this right here. Psalms, is it 147? This is Psalms 149 because they don't get away, you see. Although they're not as other men, they're going to still be judged, and their judgment is going to be this right here. It says, verse 5, this is Psalms 149 and verse 5. Let the saints, the Israelites, be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand. To do what? To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. To do what? To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with feathers of iron. See? So the saints, the Israelites, the elect, under the leadership and guidance of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, are going to take these elites into slavery, into captivity. All right? It says to do what? To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all saints. Praise ye Yahweh. See? So they're not getting away with it, all right? Because going back to the ancient times, they sold us. Okay? They sold Israelite children's. This is Joel chapter, where we at? 3? It says, Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, which is Yahweh Shaphat, Yahweh Judge, and will plead with them. Therefore, my people, the Israelites, and for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations. So they've been trafficking. All right? This has been a way of their means since going back to taking us into slavery. Okay? You don't think they separated families and sold, children to other plantations and things of that magnitude? Sure they did. All right? Sure they did. Okay? It says, and parted my land. Here it is, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot. See? They sold our young boys, Israelite boys, for a harlot amongst themselves. Okay? These are the Grecians. All right, the modern day so-called white man, Edomites. It says, and they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink. See? This is an ancient custom. They've been doing this trafficking. All right? It's nothing new under the sun. All right? It's just that now they got to be a little bit more, strategic about it, and put names and codes like pizza and hot dog and walnut and soda and so on and so forth. Back then, they didn't have no rivalries or no opposition, so they just outright sold them. But now they have to put it in code, all right, because it's supposed to be a God-fearing country. And if they seen that they at least were selling and buying and doing all of this, they could no longer uphold that image of being a God-fearing country, all right? But now they being exposed. The leg is being bare, the thigh is being uncovered, and their nakedness is being revealed, okay? It says, verse 4, yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coasts of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head. See? So the Lord is going to get them, because these two places were known for what? A lot of merchants and merchandise being sold by the coast of Palestine, all right? In America, they have coastlines where they traffic these, items, these hot dogs, these pizzas, if you know what I'm saying, these jerseys, to other places, all right? And one being that island, okay? That E island, if you know what I'm saying, the E island, the E island, all right? Read between the lines, okay? So this is why they going into what? Slavery, and this is why they being exposed, okay? So this is the thing that's being brought out to the forefront, as it says in Luke 8:17. It says that what? For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest. See? All this talk of speculations and maybe this, maybe that, now the files are out, and they was saying that we was trying to reveal the identity of the victims, for the longest, but that shit, it's being exposed, and that's not what you're doing. You've been trying to conceal the identity of these elites, all right? Which is why you got them redacted, all right? It says, for nothing is secret that should not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking, man. And this place is being revealed, all right, for exactly what it is, okay? And those that can see are leaving, are fleeing, That's why it says in Psalm 64 in verse 8 that what? Let's read it, and we'll get ready to close out. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 64, verse 8. It says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. See, we seeing it. All right, we seeing it through these emails being uncovered and revealed by a lot of these Edomites. they the ones that's really doing the scrutiny right now. All right, because why? Hey, this place is falling. Okay, this place is falling. It says, can two walk together unless they be in agreement? All right, these people, they're split. All right, they're split. You got some that want this regime to continue. You got some that don't. And those that don't, they're doing their due diligence and going through these files and scrubbing everything and seeing what they can find. All right, that's why it says a house divided against itself cannot stand. All right, this kingdom is finished, man. All right, you got these Edomites that's turning on their own selves, man. All right, all for the sake of, jersey trafficking. All right, it says, so they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. And it's a beautiful thing, man, to see our enemies fall, man. All right, to see them start to fall, because they're tripping right now. But when that millstone come, Yahweh Shai, he's really going to make them fall, man. and turn them into dust. It says, all that see them shall flee away. See? So this is why, hey, we have no dog in the fight, man. We see this wickedness, and it just reassures us more and more that we don't need to be part of this society. All right. That's what this topic of the lesson that we went into the street teaching yesterday was, that what? The more you have, the harder it is. Because why? You want to tie your wagon to a wicked society and you want to be like them, but it's harder to serve the Lord. Impossible to serve the Lord if you're a friend of this world. All right. So all those that see them shall flee. All right. You know, if you got any sense, okay, because you can see the writings on the wall. This place is finished. Okay. So we just waiting, being patient. Okay. So let's go ahead and close out with 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. It reads, be sober, be vigilant. See? Why? Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Okay? Now, because you can't definitively put proof on it, he can still give people the idea that these are just, alleged or false accusations, or just that accusations, or in some cases, even AI. All right. But those that have the spiritual discernment, we can see, all right, that these things have been going on behind closed doors, but now they just come into the light. All right. And all shows and proves that this place is all but through. All right. So continue to remove yourself from this society. All right. And just watch it collapse on itself. Okay. And pray to the Lord, Yahweh, through his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, that he shows you mercy in the process of this place collapsing, that you will be, spared. Okay. That's why we do the work. That's why we obey. That's why we, continue to endure like good soldiers, so that when that time comes, we will be spared and shown mercy. Lord willing, we have that number, the elect. So be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. All right. So with that being said, pray someone was edified through this lesson. And until the next time, if it be the Lord's will, stay strong, stay in the faith. We're almost home. Shalom. Peace.